Hey, welcome, welcome. Welcome to Sapphire Ridge News, where we give you updates on all political news and cover both parties. While we, like the Republican Party, we also have to cover the other party, which I have a lot to say. Um, I got a meme from a friend of mine this morning who's a Democrat, but I care about her deeply. And somebody sent her a false meme, and she was so upset. She thought it was actually happening. And let me read you what it says in the meme because it's truly disturbing. It says Trump just ordered a federal spending freeze. Here are some of the programs that could be impacted: Medicaid, school breakfast and lunch programs, Section 8 rental assistance, Title I education grants, TAMP, that's a form of food stamps, state grants for child care, Head Start, special supplemental nutrition program, SNAP program for women and infants, Department of Housing and Urban Development's Community Development Block Grant Program, EPA grants for clean water infrastructure. That is all false. Every bit of it is false. Now, what he did freeze federal spending, but for 24 hours. It's not a permanent thing. And the left is sending out these memes saying all this stuff that isn't true, and people are getting upset when it's not true. And it's truly disturbing. Right. But I was looking at that on my phone on X, and I thought that RFK Jr. did a was doing a very good job. The little bit that I watched it this morning, I can't stand some of these Democrat senators because they sit there and lie and lie and lie, and then he rightly set them straight. Like they tried to say that he was an anti-vaxxer and he would, kill all the vax programs. And he said, "Why would I do that when all of my kids are vaccinated?" Yeah, they act like little kids. This is just very disturbing. They think that a president has no power. They're trying to say, well, it was illegal for him to fire this or that person. No, it's not. The Constitution gives the president of either party the right to hire and fire anyone within the executive branch for any reason. He doesn't have to have a reason. This is just so disturbing that you have these morons parading around as senators telling big bold faced lies, and then when they get called out on it, they get all mad. Well, it's like if you tell the truth, people wouldn't get mad because we have a right to know the truth, regardless of party. Right. That's another thing. They're trying to say, well, he just fired them. No, he gave them 8 months' pay plus benefits. I don't get it. I don't get it how these people can lie and lie and lie, regardless of party, and think they won't get found out. I wish that people would look up. See, anybody can go to whitehouse.gov and find out what executive orders were signed, what they say, because you can read them online. Right. You know, Pete Hegseth said something interesting at his hearing. Pete Hegseth said, we won World War II with 7 4-star generals. Now we have 44. He said, why do we have 44 4-star generals? I thought that was interesting. Yeah, Letitia James, she's gonna she's gonna end up in a boatload of trouble because Mike Davis said if she comes after us, right, he did. And he's the right person for the job. You know, all these people that are saying he wasn't qualified, this, that, the other. You know, I think it was the New York Times did a hit piece on him where they said that his former sister in law claimed he got drunk and beat up his second wife, and that's why they got separated. His second wife said none of that happened. She said none of it happened. She said, I don't know what she's talking about because she said Pete never laid a hand on me ever during our marriage. And she said they separated and divorced because they were not able to get along. And that's a valid reason. You know, if you and your spouse can't get along, then why are you together? You know what I mean? I started my second channel. The first live stream is tonight at 7. Let me see if I can. How can I do this? I'll drop the link in the chat. Right. Yeah. I've seen Tyler Nolan before. I follow Camp Cannon and Wolf's World. Let me see if I can do this. I'll be right back. Oh, excuse me. Okay, so right here, channel one. No. Minus 10. Oh, this is different on here, of course. What I'm looking for. Here, we can do this. Come on. I hate when they change stuff. Okay, I couldn't find it. I was looking for the the link to my new YouTube channel so you guys could have it. I'll send it to you on X, Julianne. My new YouTube channel covers modeling photography, the benefits, traps, and pitfalls. I want to tell them everything. Yeah, they can make a lot of money. Hey, Zach. Yeah, I can do it on my phone. Why can't I do it on there? So here's what we can do. Nope. Well, I just decided, oh, cool. See, I used to do modeling photography, and there's so many friggin' sleazeball. Oh, cool. There's so many sleazeball photographers, and I decided that since I know about the traps and the pitfalls, and I have the ability to do YouTube, that I should tell everybody what the traps and the pitfalls are. It definitely pays a lot of money, but the traps and the pitfalls are that there are unscrupulous photographers that don't tell the girls the truth. And I don't like that. I don't like that at all. If you're going to do something, tell the truth about it, is my viewpoint. Um, I got a very short video I can send. It's like only 3 minutes. Yes, we are. Lee Zeldin was confirmed this morning. So far, last count, I counted 7 confirmations. Um, Tony Besant was confirmed. You know, everybody bitches about Christy Nome. You know what she was doing yesterday? She was out in the street with the ICE agents, working right alongside of them. So for all of those that bitched and moaned about her being the secretary of DHS, she's working right alongside of them agents. She's not staying in the office and letting them do the work. She's right there with them. And that is something. Yeah, Bondi cleared judiciary. She gets a floor vote, I think, this afternoon. They had wanted to put it off till tomorrow for the committee vote, but yeah, no, I really respect Bobby Kennedy, RFK Jr., because he pointed out facts that cannot be disputed. That when he was a kid, a pediatrician would see 1 case of juvenile diabetes in their entire 40-year career. Today, 1 in every 3 or 4 kids has juvenile diabetes or pre-diabetes. Yeah, I got some news on Hirono. Um, one of my games that I play, Puzzles and Chaos, one of my friends on there is from Hawaii, and he said she will not get reelected. People hate her because she doesn't represent what they believe, and that when she attacked Pam Bondi without even meeting with her, that they were truly embarrassed. He said they were truly embarrassed. So we got Lee Zeldin, we got Christy Nome. You know, for her being a governor and the first day on the office on the job, she's out in the streets with the ICE agents, making sure they do things correctly. That says a lot, doesn't it? Right. Because um, Caroline Levitt said yesterday Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, food stamps are off limits. Right. He was there, but she was there working with the agents, making sure they were doing their job right and that they had backup and support if they needed it. She was right there on the ground, right next to them. And I thought, that's pretty damn good. Oh yeah, I was watching that last night. See, I have an interesting take on Tiffany, that whole situation. See, I grew up 2 towns over from Dalton. I lived in Markham for 33 years. My aunt, my mom's sister, used to live in Dalton right on Lincoln Avenue, so I know how things can get in Dalton. But at Thornton Township, that is not how people act at Thornton Township. Right. Um, this was good. This morning, I read that Pete Hegseth stripped Mark Milley of his uh, security clearance and is looking into stripping him of his rank or bringing him up for court martial. Yes, I do love a sophisticated woman, Zach. She ain't my girl. Uh, Hell no. She had no business getting elected as mayor. She used to run a burger joint, and the food department shut it down because they had rodents and all kinds of nastiness going on. Yeah, it was an awful place. Nope, if you want her, you can have her. I ain't gonna fight over her. I will not fight over her. Yes, there was a physical fight. There was an actual brawl. There was an actual brawl. And the police were called. The police tried to say that the victim that got jumped, that he started it, but it was Tiffany and her goon squad. The guy was talking against Tiffany, called her a lazy fat ass bitch, and said that her days are numbered and that she is out of the. Yeah, go to Dear Christian, and he did a stream on it last night, and it is shocking. She pushed the table out of the side, and when her goons jumped him, she ran and she was throwing punches. Just very disturbing to have someone who's supposed to be mayor push over a table and run like a track star and jump in the fray. Disgusting. So, what can we talk about now? Oh, Trump just signed the Lake and Riley Act. Yep, her days are definitely numbered. The FBI is investigating her. She screwed up at the caucus and got there like 15 minutes late. And the doors were locked because they locked the doors promptly at, I think it was 7 o'clock. She got there 7:15 and wanted them to open the doors, and they wouldn't. So she is not on the ballot. Wow, I'm surprised concertina wire on the overpasses. Oh, Julianne, do you follow the Black conservative perspective? Black conservative perspective. The guy's name is Greg. He's covering it right now. She lost her lawsuit. Yeah, his channel is called the Black Conservative Perspective. What else we got? Hold on, the dog is barking. I gotta go let him in. Be right back. Come on, come on. He gets out there and he barks at the cats walking up and down the street. Or if somebody drives their car down the street, he barks at them. Crazy dog. He went from not barking at nothing to acting like a watchdog. I haven't figured out how to do that yet. I can send you a half-hour notification on on X, and I'm gonna get there are certain packages I can buy. I'm on X all the time, Julianne. I keep in contact with Laugh Always on X. Yeah, they should, but I don't know how that would work from within StreamYard. I use a software called StreamYard so that I can stream to X and stream to YouTube at the same time. I would have to figure it out on YouTube and then figure it out on X. I did get a message from YouTube that starting in March, they're going to be very, very critical of platforms that talk about politics. I'm sure that he will talk to them because he does keep in contact with the Rileys, you know, and I think it's just disgraceful that, as far as I know, to this day, neither Joe Biden nor Kamala Harris ever called Lake and Riley's parents to wish their condolences. Never called them. That's disgraceful. Right. Walmart does that all the time, or at least it used to. And Apple does that all the time. Yes. See, I have a unique connection to Groundhog's Day. That was my dad's birthday. He was born February 2nd, 1922. 2222. And I remember when I was a teenager, he had applied, he lived in Illinois, and he applied for a personalized plate, TOS, which was his initials, Thomas Oliver Strange, 2222, and they wrote him back and said that plate was already taken. He, he said, how dare someone else have my birthday when that wasn't what they said? Yeah, that's my last name is Strange, Strange, and it's English. It's actually French because it was originally Lestrange, but they fled France because they were being persecuted for having affairs with the king's daughter. So they ran to England, married English royalty, got in trouble there, and then came to America. When they came to America, they dropped the LE. Yeah, my dad lived a troubled life. He was a good guy, but because of some of the stuff he saw in World War II, he had troubles. Right. It's like on my mom's side, my mom's a brazier, spelled Brasherear, but there's also Brasheare and Brasher. They're all from three brothers. Two had kids and one didn't. So they're all related. On my mom's side, my great grandpa Paris, William Isaac, he owned slaves and he treated the slaves better than he treated his own kids. He was mean to his kids, but not to the slaves. So sad, you know. You talk about owners that were mean to the slaves, but they don't talk about the owners that were nice to them. I mean, owning slaves is not a good thing by any stretch of the imagination, but I think we should talk about everything, you know what I mean? We should talk about it all. And William Isaac died an infidel, but he traveled all over the state of Kentucky debating the Bible, knew the Bible frontwards and backwards and sideways, debated it all his life, but never believed. That's just so sad. Just very sad. So whose cousins are weird? Right. But he knew about the story of Jesus. He used to debate Jesus, and he knew how to tell you that you should believe, but then come right down to it, he didn't believe. He would outright tell you, you should believe in Jesus Christ when he didn't believe. And I just find that bizarre. You know what I mean? Usually it's the believers telling others, you need to believe in Jesus. This is why. Yeah, and YHVH was pronounced Yahweh because in the Old Testament of the Bible, it talks about Yahweh and it talks about God with a capital G, that's heavenly God, and then it talks about God with a little g. I know a lot about that. I was a jail chaplain. I was a jail chaplain. Actually, that's not true because they found um, Noah's Ark. It's in the Ural Mountains of Russia, and Russia will not allow them to excavate it. Who is Mauro Baglino? Sounds like an Italian. Most Italians are Catholics. Right. I will agree with that. Been around a very long time. Very long time. The actual Bible has been around for a very long time. Right. See, the thing with the Bible is back in those days, if you were caught writing the Bible, you were executed. People didn't want to be executed, so they didn't tell who told them to write it. Because if they told who told them to write it, they were too executed. Yeah, the Roman Empire wanted people to be fearful of them. The Roman Empire spread fear and division. Oh, President Trump just told Benny Johnson that Laken Riley's parents were there in the Oval Office when he signed the Laken Riley Act. Right. Back in those days, they didn't have the, the age of consent stuff that we have now, and the Muslim faith still does not. That's a hidden secret, not a secret, hidden thing in the Muslim faith. Some Muslims won't ever admit that, like they won't admit that Muhammad, the Muslim prophet, his last wife was 9 years old. Think about that for a moment. And then they will try to argue, oh no, she wasn't a true wife. She was just a, a figurehead. It's like, come on, get real, right? Yeah, yeah, right. Like in Genesis, it says, we made man in the image of ourselves. That means there was more than one. Ourselves means more than one. All right. I was thinking about this morning. Breaking news. Trump to sign an executive order for a 30,000 person facility for criminal aliens at Guantanamo Bay. Now we need funding from Congress to remove record numbers of illegal aliens. Let's go. Oh, the boxes behind me. Um, one is going out today. See, I go to the food pantry and sometimes they give me stuff in boxes. And the other boxes, the smaller boxes, are for the smoker. It's wood chunks for the smoker. Yep. We just announced right now that Guantanamo is going to be remade into holding illegal aliens, meaning illegals that have broken the law, like what they did to Lake and Riley and others. You know, I covered the Lake and Riley trial. That was difficult to cover because I have a 35-year-old adopted daughter. I cannot imagine the pain that the family went through seeing on satellite how he drug her around the park, beating her head with a rock until her skull was flat. That's just so disturbing. Right. That's just so disturbing. She would not agree to have relations with him, so he drug her around the park, hitting her, punching her, picked up a rock and hit her in the face repeatedly so many times that the medical examiner said her skull was flattened. That takes a lot to flatten your skull. And then they showed on the videotape how she fought back, how he drug her all over the park. She fought for her life. I'm sorry. I just, stuff like that gets me going because, I have an adopted daughter that I love dearly. And just the thought of them having to go through the pain of seeing what happened to their daughter is just unmeasurable, the amount of pain. And then he sat there through the whole trial, stone faced, never showed any emotion. When the jury came back guilty on all counts, he showed zero emotion. Zero. And her parents were angry with the state, and they had every right to be because they had a meeting with Ibarra's defense counsel in which they agreed to take the death penalty off the table without ever consulting her parents. Her parents said, we would have said no. Cool. That's cool. And see, I taught some of my nieces how to use a gun to protect themselves. Not, not, just for any reason, but like there's certain things, like if somebody points a gun at you like that, you take your hand like this and go up between their wrists. And when you do, you break your hand away and twist their arms. You break both their shoulders. And if you do it right, you can do it in one fell swoop. The gun gets thrown out of their hand and they end up with broken shoulders so they can't go and pick up the gun again. Yeah, and I was teaching ballistics in the 90s, which is like 30 years ago. Here's Laken Riley's mom's statement to President Trump for signing the Laken Riley Act. She says, I want to thank President Trump for the promises he made. He said he would secure our borders and would never forget about Laken. He is a man of his word. Signed. Yeah, we've been talking about it for 20 minutes. Wow. Trump invited all the angel families to the White House for the signing of the Laken Riley Act. And then it says they all came. Biden, then they said Biden never reached out to them, ever. But did he invite, isn't Jamil Shaw one of the angel families? That's why I asked if Jamil was an angel family because the, the statement says Trump invited all the angel families to the White House for the signing of the Laken Riley Act. It says they all came. Then it says Biden never reached out to any of them. That's just so sad. And then this is good. President Trump just said they're going to require federal employees who have been working from home to prove that they were not unlawfully working another job. That that is so sad. I haven't seen Zach post for a while. We have 8 people here. Everybody like and subscribe. As my friend Catnot Williams says, it's free 99, meaning it doesn't cost you anything. The Jameel Shaw case. Jameel Shaw case was very sad. Wow. I bet. I bet they were staring at her, wondering why she was crying. Wow. Wow, Professor Nez is even covering Tiffany's brawl last night. Yeah, I just noticed it pop up when I was checking to see what's coming on. Have Longhorn Lester. Yeah, I was watching Jero Question, and he was covering the meeting, and it went off the rails, as they say. Craziness, huh? Well, I'm going to get off here. This has been a great discussion. Yeah, Jerry was in his glory last night. Tiffany knocked the table over, jumped over the table, ran, and was throwing fists. Craziness. All right. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye now.